Good afternoon, everyone. I am losing my voice from being loud out there. It was very energizing to see all of you today. So on behalf of Migrante Alberta, happy International Working Women's Day. And kudos to the IWD Committee of Edmonton for doing a great job of continuing the militant tradition of taking to the streets the working class women's struggle. So let's give the committee a big hand, please. So as our voices echo to express our dissent to the Harper government, the women of Migrante Alberta vow to educate, organize, and mobilize to contribute to the advancement of the women's movement. Since 1911, millions of women in Europe and the US gathered together and took their struggle to the streets to fight their oppression and for better working conditions. In 2015, women globally are facing the worst impact of imperialist globalization as they experience the global depression and poverty. Local governments have prioritized the needs of corporations and instead abandoned social and basic programs, which has been essential services that is gravely needed by local women, migrant women, and their children. And this has resulted to massive employment, especially women of the South. Over the last year, the federal government's already flawed temporary foreign workers program have hastily implemented heedless changes that have sent hundreds of workers back home already. Starting on April 1st, thousands will be removed from Canada. At the same time, there will also be a huge army of undocumented workers. These women, who were once the sole breadwinners of their family, are now back to square one and will be facing a very bleak future.
Shame, shame, shame.
For those who will choose to stay undocumented rather than go back home where there's nothing for them, their lives will be vulnerable. And for those who will be going back to the Philippines, their lives will be even worse. Under the Philippine President Benigno Aquino's unscrupulous rule that serves the rich and neglects the poor, a very little percentage of the budget is allotted to health, education, housing, and social services. Aquino government's labor export policy continues to ship men and women as their export under the premises of greener pasture in other countries such as Canada, while they sit and wait for the dollar remittances. The worsening state of the Philippine society forces 5,000 Filipinos every day to migrate for survival, even if it means abuse, harassment, and discrimination. Such is the prospect that awaits Vicky Venacio, pending Canada's decision to deport her after a car accident that left her paraplegic. Vicky was under the Temporary Foreign Workers Program and had a promising career in the food industry. But she was the lifeline of her aging parents and provided financial support to her siblings. Vicky is the face of thousands and thousands of temporary foreign workers here in Canada. But temporary workers are treated like rags. They are used, abused, and disposed when they're not needed anymore. And Vicky and all TFWs are human beings, and they deserve to be treated like one. So we appeal to your compassionate hearts. We appeal to your compassionate hearts to join Migrante Alberta to fight for Vicky Venacio's right to stay in Canada permanently. Justice for Vicky and all temporary foreign workers. Women's rights are human rights. Women's dignity lies in the fight for the rights of all. And long live the working class women's struggle.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I'm not used to talk to so many people. My name is Vicky Venacio. I'm 29 years old. I am a temporary worker from Philippines. I came to Canada to work in McDonald's. I was very grateful for the opportunity because I know that I will be able to have a better life here in Canada to support my parents. And there's a chance to become a permanent resident. It was difficult to be away from my family, especially for my mom, who has a kidney disease that requires a lifetime dialysis. I wanted to take care of her, but I need to go overseas to support her medical expenses. I was feeling homesick, but I focused and persevered by working really hard. In just 4 months, I was promoted as team leader position. I felt like was so good and my dreams were becoming reality. And I started training as a manager on June 2, 2012, just before taking my management exam. I was struck by a car while riding a bike. I sustained a spinal cord injury from an accident. All of a sudden, my life changed. My hope and dreams were shattered. I could not accept that doctor told me that I couldn't walk anymore. And I stuck on my wheelchair. Since I cannot longer work, my Alberta healthcare expired since the day that my visa expired.
Shame.
Healthcare for all.
To make matter worse, my employer failed to honor my employment contract providing my disability insurance when I was hired. Last February 16, 2015, I was summoned to appear Citizenship and Immigration Canada office in Edmonton to review my appeal for temporary resident application. The immigration decision was sent me back home. I am waiting for removal order from Canada Border Service Agency. My lawyer will make an appeal to CIC to allow me to stay in Canada as a humanitarian and compassionate grounds. The moment I am volunteering the experimental treatment at the University of Alberta, a rework program. I have made a significant progress and I am helping the research group to learn a new direction in making post-injury rewalking possible. I know I can't have my normal life back, but I determined to recover and to return to work and realize my Canadian dreams. I am appealing to you, all my sister and brother here, to support my struggle to stay in Canada. I am not a machine that will be thrown away when it's broken. You can help me stay in Canada. Thank you and have a meaningful Women's Day.